Life is a performance and also bineng. Haji cake. That's the topic of this episode. If I sound exhausted, this is my third time recording this. I don't know why I keep deleting this, but let's get into it.
Stop here.
Before we go too far, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who listened to my podcast and interacted last time. Thank you for all the subscribes. Thank you for all the follows on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. I truly appreciate you guys, and I responded to all your comments. Please do the same on this video, and to everybody new, welcome to the Stop Lama Podcast, episode 2.
Stop here.
Okay, let's get into it. Back to the title of the podcast. Life is a performance, and also meaning. Real. In case you don't know what the second part of that is, it's whoever doesn't dance doesn't get a piece of cake. In this discussion or in this podcast, the performance is the dancing. And what we gain or what we think we gain, that's the cake. Every day we go out into the world, we're performing. So the world is basically our stage. We're all a bunch of performers performing for a bunch of other performers, and we're all trying to delude ourselves into thinking we're not performing. What exactly are we doing? So we're performing for our friends, we're performing for our family, we're performing for strangers, and we're performing for ourselves as well. This performance comes in different ways. So after listening to this, you will take or you will decide how you're performing, and you'll decide how to apply it in your life and decide what you take away from this. We perform by meeting people's expectations. We perform by giving into peer pressure. We perform by acting mature, which I'll get into. And we also perform by being nonchalant. This was actually just an example of a performance. It's not for everyone. The nonchalance example I was giving is this I don't care about anything attitude that seems to be going around, because when I first found out what nonchalance is, I searched what the word meant, and at the time, it meant more of someone who's like cool like an ice block. On the outside, they just look very calm, or there's no reaction you can get out of them, or they don't look like they're reacting in any way. That's what nonchalance was at first when I first found out about it. Now it's I don't care about anything. Stop it, everybody, stop it, not stop it, Lama, stop it, everybody who's nonchalant. Go stand far. And then the maturity part, I was thinking, this is something I've just seen with people my age who are finishing their teenagehood, or people who are just entering their 20s, early years of their 20s, where they feel like because I am now growing up, I need to act mature. But the maturity they're trying to act like is the maturity of someone who's 37. Dimagazo, you're 21. Act 21. Have fun. Live a little. But when I say live, I don't mean do stupid things. I just mean allow yourself to be young. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to go out there. Every time you're acting mature, you are Warbora, man. Warbora. I don't know why I'm trying to sound like I'm trying to sound like I'm not wrong, but this is my podcast also. So whoever disagrees, just remember this is it's just a podcast based on opinions. So here's the thing. We don't need to conform to anyone's expectations except our own. And this is something my uncle said to me 3 days ago. I'm about to go to university. Well, I'm about to finish a university. And what he said to me was, when you go out there, don't stress too much about our expectations here. Just go out in the world and show them that you were raised with morals. That's all you need to say. That's all you need to do out there. Show them you have morals from home. And then every other expectation we have of you is second. And I appreciated this so much because I think a large part of my performance was performing for the validation of everyone back home, but not really the validation, performing to not disappoint everyone back at home. My family are the people who I care the most about, so I truly don't want to disappoint them. But I know in all ways they expect of me, like academics and stuff, there's no way I'm going to disappoint them. But I think just in general in my life, everything I was thinking is I just don't want to disappoint them. So my uncle just said, no, care about your own expectations. When all we want you to do is show them we raised you well. And that was very comforting to hear. Although we need to also meet our own expectations, we do need to sit down and introspect and think, okay, what influenced my expectations of myself? Like in Siegfried, one of the expectations Frank Ocean said he would meet is having 2 kids in a swimming pool. So we have to think, why exactly do we have these expectations of ourselves? This is going to be from how I was raised up, socialization, and all that. You start realizing why you want things, and also, do you want them for yourself actually? Or is it because you're told to want stuff? A reason I really picked this topic is because I realized I was watching myself from the outside. I wasn't living in my shoes every day. I was just on the outside thinking, "Batho ba tla reng? Batho ba tla reng? Na ke a reng? What am I saying about myself? What am I saying about what I'm doing? What am I saying about what I'm thinking?" I was just performing for everyone else. But why exactly do we perform? I made a whole mind map about reasons why we perform. So here we go. We perform because it's easy. It's easy. If I see something work for someone and they get the result I want. So if I see someone, we'll go back to the nonchalant thing. Boo. If I see someone act nonchalant and I see everyone is excited to be around them, I see that everyone's chasing after them, I can just say copy, paste. And if I do that, I know I'll get the same result. Well, hopefully, I'll get the same result. And because of that, I just start performing the same way someone else does. Is that nonchalance in me? Is that my character? I think by now, everybody who follows me or everybody who knows me knows it's not my character to be nonchalant. So if someone was to see me doing that, they'd know it's a whole performance. And these people who are performing it, this I don't care about anything thing. And it's quite, I don't want to sound touched, but it's so irritating because it also has effects on people who you're performing for. So we'll get into the next thing right now, so we don't get into that too much. We also perform to match our perception of ourselves. We expect ourselves to be, or to act, or to be a certain person at some point. So we start trying to bridge this gap by performing and performing and performing. But the thing is, sometimes who we expect ourselves to be is not really who we're supposed to be, because who we expect ourselves to be is based on what we're told we're supposed to be. So we're trying to perform to be that person, but it's just not our actual character. Another reason we perform, this one is mostly like in terms of consumption. It's because of capitalism. Capitalism is truly like the cause of so many problems. But capitalism makes us think that we can buy into communities. So if I see a community of people and I feel like excluded or I feel like I want to be a part of them, I will perform like I like something that they like and I'll buy it to fit into that community. Example, Labubus. I'm using this example because the propaganda is actually coming to me. I'm starting to fall for it. I won't act like I'm immune. I see them and every day I see them, I start thinking I want one. But the truth is, I know I don't want one. It's truly the marketing of it all because the whole point of marketing is to create a need in consumers, a need that doesn't exist. You don't need a Labubu to fit into a group of people, but you're convinced that you do. And there's all this content, like I'll give another example, it's like clean girl content. To try fit into these communities or to try be like the people who create this content, you start having to buy all these things. You start having to consume. So you start buying the face masks. What are those huge cups? It's not hydro flasks. Stanley cups. You start buying Stanley cups. You start buying stuff to be like other people, to be in that community. So that's how this whole capitalism thing is also like a reason we perform. And another reason we perform is because we're cowards. We're cowards to sit down and say, this is once you've realized you're performing. You're coward to say, I'm performing. I'm realizing I'm performing. Let me stop performing, because it comes with issues when you realize you're performing. So you just continue the performance because it's cowardly, yes, but it's easy to continue. Yo, why am I stuttering? It's easy to continue performing. At some point, though, we have to decide whether we want to stop the performance or we want to carry on with the performance. There are pros and cons with stopping this performance, actually. The cons of stopping this performance is you will go through an ego death because you think you know who you are, but once you realize you're performing, now realize, oh, I actually don't know who I am. And you start feeling lost for some time before you decide, okay, let me start bridging the gap between, not bridging the gap, but let me sit down and know who I am. So you're now starting to figure yourself out again. So you feel lost. Another con of stopping this whole performance is rejection. Some people are not gonna like you. It's not a bad thing that people don't like you, and they don't not like you. What? Don't not like you. It's not that they like you for not like you for any bad reason. People just don't mess with you because you are not them or that you're not their people, and that is okay. You also might get rejected from groups of people you are already with at the moment because you stop performing, so you're no longer similar to them in ways you thought you were. So you start feeling left out, or they start seeing that you're not part of them properly. So you feel rejected. You also just feel exhausted seeing that you still have a long journey to go to figure yourself out, because you thought you knew yourself, you realize it's a performance, and you see, okay, now let me get to know myself, and you realize this is not a 1 day fix. I have to sit down, and it's exhausting. But now let's get into the pros of stopping the performance. One, the rejection. Although it was on the con part, rejection is actually good. I hate that one phrase, rejection is redirection, because, oh man, I don't want to be redirected. I want to be where I am right now. But it's the truth. Rejection is great because it redirects you to your people, actually. I performed for like a small part of my life, I guess. I didn't perform for too long because I I had to close the curtains. The act was over. I was very exhausted. But I was rejected and redirected into my group of friends that I have right now. I have my friends, there's 8 of them who are in a group together, and it's so great being around them because we are all alike. I was redirected straight to them, and I'm so happy being around people that are like me because it allows me to be myself more and to discover myself more comfortably. And another thing is, I've also made a friend recently, and there were times I'd feel like I'd have to perform because I think he's so cool. His name is Avali. I think he's so cool. But because he's so cool and he's so himself, I feel like, oh, I can be myself. And it's so easy to be myself. So it's great because you get to meet people who allow you to be yourself, and you get to meet great friends. Stopping this performance will also allow you to have so much confidence in yourself. It will actually skyrocket to limits like you don't think. This is because you now know yourself. You don't know what you need to do to impress other people, to get validation of other people. You really, really know yourself. You know what you like, you know what your needs are, and you know what you don't like. And knowing yourself, you carry yourself in a different type of way now. Like, yes, this is me. So, yes, stopping the act allows that to happen. You also stop thinking after interactions with people. Like after a day out, after meeting someone, you don't think too much of why did I say that? Why didn't I say this? You just think, oh, I presented myself how I am. They take it how they take it, whether they love me or not. That's that problem. If they love me, great. If they don't like me, it's okay, because if they don't like me now, why am I sticking around them? So it allows you to stop thinking too much about things. But there's a con about stopping this performance. One con I didn't get into. There's some people who actually do need to perform. There's some people whose characters are. I don't think anyone is just a bad person, but there are some people who are bad people. Those people need to perform. I just hope that they perform like better people. I don't want these first episodes to be too long. I want them to be very short so they're very easy to listen to, and also so I can just get through them very quickly. Let's tie this all together now. Why exactly are we stopping the performance? We're stopping this performance so we can develop our own identities and so we can get to know ourselves now. That's exactly why we're stopping the performance. We're not just stopping it to say, case closed. No, no, no. There actually is a reason why, and that's the reason. But how are we going to do this? How are we going to develop our identity and get to know ourselves? Excuse me. Look around. The same way we've been looking around and saying, I like that person, I'm going to act like them so I can be accepted by them. We're going to stop that, but this time we're going to look around and say, I'm taking that piece of that person. I like this about them, I'm taking this about them, and I'm applying it in my life. I'm not applying it so they see me somehow. I'm applying it because I like that about myself. That's what we're doing. Pick and choose, pick and choose. And when you do this, it allows you to become a collage of everything that you like. To develop your identity, you can also just journal about it because it gives you time to sit down and just think deeper about a lot of things that you think. Maybe if you like something, you can sit down and say, okay, why exactly do I like this? It's just to justify to yourself, like, no, this is me. But journaling is exhausting, I won't lie. So maybe just even think more about it. Like, allow yourself to think deeper about your interest and about your thoughts. Whilst doing everything you're doing to get to know yourself or just to stop this whole performance, you need to remember something. It's going to take time. Does it suck? Yes, but the time's going to pass anyway, so you might as well accept it right now. It's going to take time because you're still yet to be so many other people. You're still yet to be shaped by life itself into being so many other people. So you don't need to decide right now that I'm stopping this act and I'm being myself and I'm staying who I am right now. No, you just have to say, okay, this is who I am right now. I'm allowing the world to change me however it decides to change me, however I accept to be changed. But it's going to take time until I'm 100% sure of who I am, or even if I think I know who I am, I'm open to becoming other people, because it takes time. It's not a one thing where you decide like, okay, I'm stopping and this is who I am. No. Also, this whole think of it as healing, because it is healing to now be yourself. There's like less anxiety when you're yourself, but this whole healing thing, it can't be done in isolation. Eesh. You don't just say, okay, let me back off from everybody, let me stop taking from everybody and be myself now. No, no, no. It has to be done also by interacting with people, because your personality as well will also develop as you interact with other people. Once you realize you've been performing all along, it becomes very easy to start seeing everyone around you who's performing, and it's very easy to put yourself on a pedestal above people and say, okay, I'm better than because my eyes are open. But that's not the whole point of this. The point of this is not for you to think you're better than. No, no, no. You want to be yourself. You want to be happy with yourself. You want to act as yourself. And this opens the space up for everyone around you to feel comfortable being themselves as well, because you can't blame anyone for performing, because there is a reward to performing. That's the whole problem with the whole performance thing. Well, not really a problem, but that's a reason for people to perform. There is a reward for performing, but there's also a reward for being yourself. So you want to create a space just by existing that allows people to be themselves. Going back to the rejection thing, there's a large thing of being rejected, but you also have to think, okay, the people who are rejecting you are not meant for you. And do you actually want to be like the people who are rejecting you? Like, actually, like that character, do you actually want to be them, or do you want the validation? That's something you just have to sit down and think. And that rejection is not the worst thing that can happen to you. I won't even lie and say that stopping this whole performance will better your life. It could worsen your life at some point, but like you will recover from it, but it will be hard to go through. But then living as yourself, let me tell you, you will enjoy that when you get to know yourself. It's a very rewarding thing. So everybody who listened to this one, thank you so much for listening to this. Thank you so much for listening to me. Yep. Stop it, Lama. I will be back soon. Please don't forget to interact with the episode in every way you can. Press all the buttons except the dislike one, except the 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. Just press the fifth one. Then, if you have nothing good to say, you can go along. But thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for listening to this. Thank you. Bye.